my name is Joe Bushnell, and I'm from Enable Technologies. I'm going to show you, well, we're going to talk about dashboards with SugarCRM, and we're going to talk about how, what dashboards from a sales perspective I find useful and how we utilize dashboards within Enable. So when we talk about dashboards, we talk about home screen. So people can have many hats, so they may have many dashboards. So if we're logging as a user of SugarCRM, we get brought to a default dashboard, and you can see this is our home dashboard in this case, and this is a very generic dashboard. We have this big blue button over here on the right hand side, what enables us to create dashboards for ourselves, to personalize it to the end user for us. So we press create on dashboards. It allows us to put a dashboard title, so I can now put a dashboard title. So I'm going to say sales page in my case, and we can see that we can choose how many columns we have across, as well as how many columns on layout. So if we have 3 columns across, it's going to have 3 dashboards. This means we can put 3 pieces of information in here. We may want the second one to be 2 and the third one to be 1. We can change the amount of columns. So if we had this on a whiteboard, on the TV, etc., we may want to display more information. We can do so on these columns here. So you can see that I can then choose more columns, etc., and pull it further. But in this case, as we're just on a normal desktop, we're just going to go back to a 1-column layout. Where these pluses are, this means I can add information. I can add information in. If I click on one of these pluses, it then gives me a list of different dashboards that I can actually include into my Sugar system. So from a sales perspective, like I said, we're doing account management, we're doing sales opportunities. In my case, I want to say, what calls have I got to make today? So you'll see that we have planned activities down here. So if we click on planned activities, or we click on this little preview button, it gives me a preview of what it would look like. And to add it, I'd simply press the button that add it in. It then allows me to customize a title, because I may have planned activities for today on this one. And you can see my filters are today, only my items, and I may want to display 20 activities if I had 20 scheduled, and press save. It's going to then give me my activities for today. I then may want to say, actually, I also want my activities for tomorrow. So again, go and press the plus button, brings up my list, go back to planned activities, and I'm going to say to my future. So now I can say future. So plan activities for the future. Okay. And again, I can increase my list, and you can now see we're starting to build our homepage. So we're customizing it to be how we want to see it. I also may want to say, okay, what I really would like is a list of my calls. Although I can see my calls here, and my meetings here, I actually want to see my calls. So inside Sugar, we can add in a thing called list view. It's like when we actually go into the modules themselves inside Sugar, we're brought straight away to a list view where we can filter, we can set up filters. Exactly the same, it's a list view with filters. So we go list view. We then can choose what do we want to use on the list view. Do we want it on calls, do we want meetings or opportunities, contacts, leads, accounts, you name it, you can choose it. And the list is down here. So we want to say accounts for account management. Click on accounts. You have a list of our available columns, what we can see. If we don't need something such as date modified or something like this, we can take it off. In the studio section, you can add more if you're an administrator. We're going to just change our display rows. And because my accounts, somebody could be assigning me accounts, and I may be sitting on my homepage, I want this to auto refresh. So I'm going to say auto refresh every 5 minutes, just in case I am sitting in there. Down the bottom, we can see that it says assigned to me. Obviously, at the moment, I am talking about my accounts, but maybe I wanted to say my team's accounts, etc. So I can change that. In this case, we're just going to say assigned to me. So you can see now I have a list over here of my accounts that are assigned to me. And I can click through to these, I can obviously drill through, and I have these columns that are showing. And this is obviously we're starting to build a dashboard. If I wanted to bring in some charts, maybe a pipeline, a sales pipeline chart, for instance, I can then go into the plus again, go down to sales pipeline. Sugar has a default sales pipeline. We can also have our team's pipeline depending also on your role and if you have a team and your people are responsible to you. But if we just go to My Pipeline, it's going to give us a pipeline chart with our sales stages across the top and our periods up the top here. We can look at our teams in pipeline if we have the authority to do so. Again, we may want to bring in more charts. So you can see that not only the pipeline chart we can bring in, but we can have any chart inside Sugar. So any chart that's been created inside Sugar, summation chart, can be pulled through to the person's homepage. And we simply just choose the chart that we want. So in this case, we're going to look at sales. So sales per quarter by lead source. In this case, we're going to say we want to see the total. We want to see the x-axis and the y-axis. So, and we can change these. So instead of expected close date, I'm just going to call it close date. And this is, instead of a likely amount, I'm going to call this amount. I'm going to say I want to see the values in the middle, in my case. And I'm going to, in my case, going to say allow scrolling. This means that instead of having to drag my cursor to the left or the right, it's going to shrink down the report to show the report inside my view, inside my dashboard. Again, I'm going to say auto refresh, and I could change my title if I wanted to. But you can see upon pressing save, it pulls through my my report, and it's real-time information. So as soon as something happens inside Sugar, it's real time. Upon me pressing save, my dashboard is now live. You can see I've got all the information to hand. If I wanted, actually what I needed to do, I was meant to bring in my opportunities for this quarter, or actually I need my pipeline to sit up there. So all I do is I drag up my pipeline, I move it into the correct place. If I want my accounts over there, I could do so. And maybe I want my other leads per quarter up there. And you can see that I'm manipulating the data and manipulating the way it feels. Maybe there was something I missed. So you can see I can edit it. If I'm pressing edit, we can now see we're back into that edit screen. And at the bottom, we have new places to add new dashboards. You can see we can remove the actual holders. And if we remove the holders, we should be able to see that it then asks us 1, 2, or 3 columns here. So if I wanted another 3 columns, I could do so. Maybe I want to see my a list of my opportunities for this month. So in this case, I've done modules. I'd go to opportunities, my sales for this month. So my opportunities, I want to say 20 rows. I want to refresh every 5 minutes. But down here where it says assigned to me, at the moment it's just showing me all of my opportunities, but really I want to see just ones for this month. So I'm going to just press that little X there, and then it will give me the option to create. And I'm going to say my assigned to user is going to be me. So in this case, I'm logged in as Sarah. Okay, so that's now exactly the same as my opportunities. Now I need to say assign expected close date this month. So again, expected close date is last 30 days, etc. This month is what we're doing. And then we're going to say my opportunities for this month. And it's going to give me my opportunities for this month into my dashboard down here. So these are my opportunities this month. You can see that we've also made a little bit of a mistake because we've got the closed loss and the closed ones. So it's not really a pipeline in that aspect. So I need to edit it. So all I did there was I went into this little cog up top right, clicked on it, press edit, brings me back into my view. I'm going to click on my opportunities down here, what brings up my criterias, and I'm going to say sales stage, or stage, if I can spell, or status, sorry, status in this case, is any of, new, and in progress, not close one, close lost. I could have said is not close one, close lost, but if I press save again, my report is now showing no data available because I have no opportunities what meet that criteria. However, when I do, they're going to be appearing in here. If I want to say what opportunities have I closed this month, exactly the same situation. Going to list views, going to opportunities, do all the same kind of situation, refresh, wipe out the filter, what's on there, create a new filter, assign to, Again, Sarah, because I'm logged in as Sarah. And I'm going to put the expected close date of this month. And in this case, I'm going to say that the status or sales stage or whatever you want to call it, depending on your terminology inside your sugar, is closed won. So now it's going to say closed won sales this month. Now I can see the closed won sales. So I can see there's 3 here. So we can keep on adding to these. We can keep on going over and over these things. We may have new leads that come through. Again, if it's new leads, go into list view, go to the leads module instead, maybe the new inquiries off our website. So we go down to leads, assign to me. Do I want it just to assign to me? So that's everything. Or do I want to create a custom filter and go assign to me or assign to no one? So I see all the leads coming in, but I want to see ones with a status of new. So I want to see any new leads that are coming in from a website, and I want to see everything to make sure that they're being dealt with in the correct manner. Okay, so we can see the new leads come through. And upon pressing save, it's then available to everyone, and then I can move away around things. So if new leads is really important to me, and it's the first part I want to see, I'm going to pull up here. And if I click on one of these, if I middle click on my mouse, it opens up a new dashlet. Okay, so you can see that's a new dashlet it's just opened up. Okay, and if I left-hand click on one of these, it changes from my home page onto the record. So I can quickly get to the information I want to see. Go back to my home screen, it's going to show me what I'm looking at. So Elon Musk is in new. So I went to Elon Musk. I went to his records, and I went, actually, Elon Musk is no longer in the status of new. So we're just going to update its status to assigned, save. Back to our home page. Elon Musk is not there because our filtering is set status is new. So you can really utilize these filtering, these list views quite quickly show exactly what you want to see with the use of the reports module as well as the dashboards with the list views. There are other dashlets that you can add in with Sugar, and you can see that there's a whole heap here. So forecast modules, for instance, if you're under or over your quotas, but if they've been set, you can have inactive tasks or active tasks. And you can go through all of these. These preview buttons here allow you to simply see exactly what the dashlets do. But personally, like I said, I utilize the sales charts, the pipeline charts, and the list views. It then enables me to build a complete sales dashlet on how I want to actually view data. Okay, the other part of inside Sugar, if we go actually into a lead record, we have the intelligence pane on the right-hand side. This is very much the same as the dashboard. So the intelligence pane and the dashboard are to the person record. So if I change it, the only person it's going to affect is me. Okay, so you can see the intelligence pane on the right-hand side is currently showing planned activities history, but maybe I want something else. So you can see I can create, just like the home page, I can create a new one. My panel, for instance. We can call that whatever you want, but my panel. I can then view. I've got all my dashlets again. The difference being, though, if I bring a list view, we can say relate to current records. So if I'm looking at Elon Musk and I want to look at the calls, relate to current record, you can see it's going to bring up Elon Musk's calls, and I can say this is scheduled calls. So instead of having all calls like your panels underneath, you may just want the scheduled calls. So again, create your filters, status is any, and it's going to be your scheduled. And I want it to assign to me. Or it may not be assigned to me. It depends on how you want to actually view it. In this case, I'm going to say assign to Sarah Lowe. And then scheduled calls, save. So you can see we started to build our panels on the right-hand side. And if we save that, you'll see it's just going to say scheduled calls. We can have many, just like our home pages, where we can have many home pages. we can have many intelligence panes against a record. So if I was to go in this case and I was to schedule a call for Elon in this case, I press plus to schedule my call, test call, and I'm going to schedule it for the future. You should see, if I just refresh this page, on the top right here, our scheduled calls should now say 1. If I mark that call as held, and I've just held that call, so I'm just going to close it, so it's now marked as held here, and I refresh, it's gone. So you can really utilize these panes on the right hand side without having to scroll down every time to the actual subpanels underneath to show exactly what you want. A lot of people use them as primary contacts. So you have a field in your CRM what says primary contact. You may have all the contacts in the subpanel underneath, but on the right hand side you just have your primary, the ones who I deal with, who I need to see, or my assigned contacts, or my assigned opportunities. And you're just simply editing and adding what you need to see. Okay, so it's really powerful in that aspect. Okay, so that's really the intelligence pane and the home page. The intelligence pane sits everywhere inside Sugar. So when we go into a module or into a list view, you can see this is the intelligence pane. If I want to create a new one, I can do so. And I can show you information that I want to see where I want to see it. Okay. From a list view and from a record view. Depends on how you want to see it, but you can see it's always here. If you don't want to see the intelligence pane, you'll see this little close button here, and you can close for that module to give yourself more white space and more space so it's not so confusing on screen. But again, it's still a person. So this is really much to do with dashboards. Like I said, dashboards are here. We've just created our sales page. That's what we're looking at here. We may have multiple dashboards. So if we had another page, so it's our home screen, we can see this, but then we have our sales page. So you can see we can easily get in between information. The charts are interactive. So if I don't need to see undefined, for instance, I can manipulate the legend to only show me the data behind what I need to see. Okay, and if I click on one of the charts, it'll bring me up a drawer and it'll tell me what exactly does this bit contain. And if I want to know what this part, the 30K, contains, I can click on that. So charts, Sugar is all about interactive. It's all about making the data at your fingertips. So by utilizing both charts and list views, you should be able to get the dashboards to do exactly what you want them to do. My name is Joe Bushnell. I'm from Enable Technologies. We're a UK elite partner. If you have any problems, please feel free to give us a call. Thank you.